You've seen them, those POV reels flooding your feed, moody, cinematic, scroll stopping. Brands are using them, creators are blowing up with them. And right now, you probably think creating one takes hours of editing, expensive software, and a creative team. What if I told you the entire thing, the scenes, the visuals, the clips, the final cut, can be done by an AI while you sit back with a cup of coffee? In this video, I'm handing you the exact system I use to mass produce these reels on complete autopilot using just two tools, Claude Code and Higgsfield AI. Stick with me till the end because this is the kind of workflow that quietly puts you 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Let's dive in. Hey, this is Shubhain. Welcome back to Upcraftz. Alright, no time to waste. Let me show you exactly what we're going to build today.
I went on a blind date for people 45 plus, and this is how it went. Well, it's not actually a blind date, but you might just find your next favorite human there. This app matches you with a small group of people, your age, same vibe, same interests. The restaurant is booked.
This is exactly what we're building today, fully on automation. I'll simply type a prompt and the AI takes it from there. It writes the scenes, it generates the visuals, it produces the clips, and it stitches everything together. No timeline editing, no headache. There is a small manual step at the very end, but honestly, it's nothing, barely takes a minute. And one more thing before we begin. The method I'm about to show you isn't limited to just short reels. You can use this exact same workflow to create any kind of video you want. POV style content, normal YouTube videos, brand promos, ads, literally anything. The possibilities are wide open. So today's mission is simple. We're going to learn how to create AI generated videos on full automation. The two tools doing the heavy lifting are Claude Code and Higgsfield. You're probably already familiar with Higgsfield. It's an incredibly powerful AI platform that can generate images, videos, and a lot more. And when you pair Higgsfield with Claude Code, magic happens. The two of them together can run your entire video production pipeline. POV reels, short form content, cinematic clips, all generated right inside Claude. Alright, enough talk. Let's get our hands dirty. But before we start clicking around, let me break the entire process into 3 clean phases so you know exactly where we are at every step. Phase 1. We set up the Higgsfield MCP server inside Claude Code and we install our custom video editing skill into Claude's brain. Phase 2. This is where the action happens. We generate the images, then the video clips, and Claude automatically stitches them together into a finished video. Phase 3. The polish. We give the video that final cinematic touch, the small details that make it feel professional and scroll stopping. That's the roadmap. So let's start with phase 1. Alright, I'm inside my Higgsfield AI account. The first thing we need to do is head over to the MCP and CLI section. Once you're there, you'll see an option called MCP. Go ahead and click it. Now the very first option you'll find is Claude, which is exactly what we need. Inside that, there are 3 options, and the one we care about is the custom connector URL. Just copy this URL, that's all you need from this site. Now I'm switching over to Claude Code, and here's something really important. You need to open Claude Code in the same browser where you're logged into Higgsfield. Otherwise, the connection between the two simply won't work. Okay, inside Claude, click on the Customize option, and then go into Connectors. You'll see a plus icon sitting right there. Click it, and then choose Add Custom Connector. Now give it a name. I'll just keep it simple and call it Higgsfield. Right below that, paste the MCP URL we copied earlier. The advanced settings don't need any changes, so we'll leave those alone. Hit the Add button. Now all that's left is to click the Connect button. The moment you do, it'll ask you to log into your Higgsfield account. And this is exactly why I told you to use the same browser. It makes this step seamless. Go ahead and log in. And we're connected. Now look at the right hand side, you'll see a list of permissions waiting to be approved. Click the drop down and hit Allow All. And just like that, Higgsfield is now fully connected to a Claude account. The first half of phase 1 is done. Now comes the second half. We need to create a skill and upload it to Claude's brain, so it actually knows how to use Higgsfield to make videos for us. Now what exactly is a skill file? Think of it as a training manual for your AI. It teaches Claude how to handle every single step of this workflow. First, Claude will read your script and understand what kind of video you're trying to make. Then it'll generate each image step by step. And once you approve the images, it'll automatically turn them into videos. So as you can see, there are multiple steps involved. And every one of those steps is written and explained inside this skill file. That's what we're uploading into Claude's brain. I've already prepared this file for you, and I'll drop the link in the pinned comment of this video. Just download it from there. To upload the skill, open Claude Code in your browser version once again. Go back to the Customize option, and this time you'll see something called Skills. Inside that, there's a plus icon. Click on it, then hit Upload a skill. Alright, our skill is now successfully uploaded to Claude's brain, and right here you can see it. The skill is called Higgsfield Video Pipeline. Open it up and you'll see all the steps laid out in detail. Every instruction, every workflow step, it's all explained clearly, so Claude knows exactly what to do. Okay, now there's one last thing we need to do. We need to install this skill inside Claude Code as well. First, open your Claude Code. Then, in your project folder, set up the same folder where your skill.md file is saved. Select that folder and just tell Claude that you want to install this skill file. Point it to the location inside your project folder. Now all you need to do is approve the permissions. Claude will ask you for a few. Wait a couple of minutes and there you go. You can see it's installed. Our setup is completely done, and now we are moving into phase 2, the fun part, actual video production. Alright, before we jump into generating the video, let me first show you the script we'll be working with. As you can see, this script is for a dating app aimed at people aged 45 and above. This is actually a real client project and creating these short reels to promote their brand, to promote their dating app. Now, before we create the videos, we need one crucial thing, a lead character. A lead character is the person telling the story. Take a look at this script. The entire thing is narrated in first person. You can see the story goes, I went on a blind date for people 45 plus. This is how it went. Someone is clearly sharing her own story, so we need a face for that someone. We need to generate our lead character first. I'm using Claude for this, but honestly, you can use Claude, ChatGPT, whatever you prefer. So here I am inside Claude and I've asked it, give me a prompt to generate an image of a 45-year-old lady. I want a full body shot, front view, because I'm going to use this image as a reference to generate all the different scenes later on. The whole point here is to keep the character consistent across every single scene. That's why we generate the lead image first and then use that exact image as a reference for every other scene we create. So here you can see I gave Claude the prompt and then I actually generated the image inside Google Flow. But honestly, I didn't love the result. She was wearing a plain white t-shirt. The outfit didn't feel right and the whole thing looked a little fake to me. So I went back to Claude and told it exactly that. I didn't like the clothes. The look wasn't working. And this time, I also gave it the full script so it could understand the context better. Claude gave me a much better prompt, and I took that prompt right back into Google Flow. I pasted it in, selected the Nano Banana 2 model, which by the way is completely free inside Google Flow. And I kept the aspect ratio at 9:16 because we are producing this as a reel. Then I selected the X2 option, which generates 2 variations of the image, so I have a choice between 2 versions. Let's see what it produces. Yeah, I like this one. I'm going with this. This is going to be our lead character for every scene moving forward. Okay, now we are inside Claude Code, and here I'm pasting the prompt and asking it to create the video. Let me walk you through exactly what I'm writing. I'm telling Claude that I want to create a realistic video and I'll be attaching the lead character image. She's the one telling the story, sharing her experience about how she found an app to meet and date 5 different strangers. Remember, I told you earlier this is a dating app project, so I'm giving Claude that context. And I'm telling Claude how her dinner experience went. All of that needs to be shown visually. Now, here's a key instruction. There's no need to put any dialogue on her lips. I don't want any lip sync. I don't want her talking on camera. The voiceover we play in the background. That's it. And I'm giving Claude the direct link to my voiceover file. By the way, this voiceover was generated using 11 Labs. I'm just dropping the file link right there. I'm also being very specific about the look. I'm telling Claude, this video has to feel real, like someone genuinely recorded these moments on a handheld camera. I want that vlog style energy. You know, like when someone captures a moment on a regular mobile phone, maybe even a low quality one. It shouldn't look too polished, too cinematic. That raw, authentic feel is exactly what we're going for. Then I'm pasting in the script. And finally, I'm telling Claude, use Higgsfield MCP and skills plus VEO3 and Hyperframe to produce this video. Now, I already have Hyperframe installed in my setup, but if you're new and haven't installed Hyperframe yet, let me quickly tell you what it is. Hyperframe is another GitHub repo, and it's a really powerful tool for AI-based video editing. With Hyperframe, you can create videos, edit videos, and even build motion graphics using AI. We're not going to cover Hyperframe in this video, but if you want a dedicated tutorial on it, just drop a comment below. If there's enough interest, I'll definitely make a separate video showing you how to install Hyperframe inside Claude and how to use it. For now, let's just assume everything's in place. And here's the good news. Even if you don't have Hyperframe installed on your Claude brain, you don't have to do anything extra. Just mention it in your prompt, exactly like I'm doing here. Claude will automatically install Hyperframe on its own. Trust me, just write it like this and it'll handle the rest. Now attach your lead character image to the chat and hit enter. And just like that, Claude starts working. You can see the project is now running. Now throughout this process, Claude will ask for your permission multiple times. Don't worry about it, just keep clicking allow. Or if you prefer, you can hit always allow, that works too. It really doesn't matter. I'm just clicking allow once each time. It'll pop up several times like I said, and you just have to keep granting the permissions. And here we go. Claude Code is now breaking down the entire script into scenes. It's giving you the full breakdown line by line. On the left, you've got every line from your script, and on the right, Claude is suggesting the exact visual that should match each line. This stage is actually really important. This is where you review everything. If something doesn't sit right with you, this is the moment to make changes. You can ask Claude to tweak anything you don't like. For example, in this segment, I'm not happy with S1 and S2, and I also want to change T1. So I'm telling Claude exactly that. I don't like S1, I don't like S2, and here's what I want instead. For S1, I'm writing that the woman should be entering a restaurant. Maybe she's standing at the restaurant door, something along those lines. I'm giving Claude the full instruction, clearly mentioning every change I need. Now let's see what it does with that. And there it is. Claude has quickly made all the changes I asked for. Perfect. Now I'm confirming everything, and Claude will move forward to the next step, image generation or scene generation. Oh, one more thing I'm telling Claude, don't use words like bathroom. Here I noticed that in the first scene, Claude was using the word bathroom, and that's a word we definitely want to avoid. Why? Because these AI models have strict content policies, and sensitive words like this can violate their terms and trigger an error. So I'm telling Claude clearly, don't use sensitive words like this. Now the image generation process kicks in. Claude is generating all the scene images one by one. Let's let it finish. Give it a moment. Okay, so all the images are generated, but for some reason, the previews aren't showing up here. No problem though, we don't really need the previews. We can just go straight to our destination folder and check. Yeah, here we go. All the images are generated successfully. We have got a total of 8 scenes, which means 8 images, all ready to go. I'm just confirming with Claude that everything looks good, and now it moves on to the next step, video generation. This is where Claude takes each of these images and turns them into video clips using Google Veo 3. By the way, you can also use Seedance instead. You just have to mention it in your skill file. I'm using Veo 3 here because it's a bit cheaper. If you want high quality results, you should absolutely go with Seedance 2.0. That's the most advanced video generation model out there right now. Seedance 2.0 is already live, and yes, it's available on Higgsfield as well. Alright, all the steps are done now and the video is generated. Claude is asking me to review it, but for some reason the preview isn't showing here in Claude Code. No worries, let me just go check the destination folder. Yes, here it is. The raw video is ready.
I went on a blind date for people 45 plus, and this is how it went. Well, it's not actually a blind date, but you might just find your next favorite human there.
You can see that Claude has successfully synced the voiceover with the visuals. All the clips are merged together, and this is exactly the base video we needed. Now it's time for phase 3, the final touch-up. This is where I add background music, a few extra elements, and some finishing details. This is our last step. Alright, for this final step, I've opened up DaVinci Resolve. I've imported the raw video into DaVinci, and now I'm doing a few key things on the timeline. Let me walk you through it. So this here is my DaVinci timeline. First thing, this is the background music I've added. Next, I've layered in a noise filter, a very subtle one. Let me show you the difference. If I disable it, see, like I mentioned earlier, this is a vlog style video, and vlog style videos are never too polished. They have that raw, organic feel. So adding this noise filter helps sell that vlog vibe. I've also added a camera shake effect. Let me play it for you. See that? The camera is shaking ever so slightly, and that small movement instantly gives you the feel that someone is shooting this on a mobile or a handheld camera. I added this on purpose to keep it grounded, less polished, and as realistic as possible. On top of that, I've added an overlay that makes it look like the video is being recorded through a mobile camera interface. I grabbed this overlay from Envato Elements, by the way. Finally, I've added the captions. Now, here's the thing. I could have generated the captions directly inside Claude Code, but personally, I don't like doing it there. I want full creative control over my captions, the styling, the timing, the placement. So I always do it manually inside DaVinci. And I've also added some really simple transitions, just a fade to black, nothing fancy. See? So those are all the final touches I did inside DaVinci Resolve. By the way, you can use any video editing software you like. It doesn't matter which one. I'm not going deep into how I created the noise filter or the camera shake in this video. But if you want a full dedicated tutorial on those techniques, just drop a comment below. I'll definitely make one for you. Alright, let's play the final video now.
I went on a blind date for people 45 plus, and this is how it went. Well, it's not actually a blind date, but you might just find your next favorite human there. This app matches you with a small group of people. Your age, same vibe, same interests. The restaurant is booked, the group is sorted. All you do is show up. I was nervous before my first dinner. By the end of the night, I forgot we'd only just met. And I'd definitely do it again next week. You leave with more than you came with.
So the video is looking pretty good to me. I can confidently deliver it to my client. But I'm not going to lie and say it's absolutely perfect. There are a few small mistakes in there. I'm not sure if you caught them or not. For example, this door right here. If you look closely, the door is opening the wrong way. These are the kind of small mistakes AI can still make. So you have to keep your eyes open. Always review the output carefully. If you spot anything off, just tell Claude to regenerate that scene and you'll be good. Overall though, I'd say the output is solid. Really good for an automated workflow. But there is one big drawback I want to be honest about. This whole setup is expensive. If you're on a tight budget, this might not be for you. Higgsfield is a premium tool. You need a higher tier plan to consistently generate images and videos, especially if you're using Seedance, which burns through credits fast. And on top of that, you also need a solid plan on Claude Code as well. I'm currently using the Claude Pro account and honestly, it gets the job done. You can absolutely run this entire workflow on Claude Pro, no problem. But if you really want a smoother, faster experience without worrying about credits, going with the Max plan is a much better choice. My honest take, if your budget allows it and you want to produce more content in less time, this method is genuinely a game changer. If you can pump out even 2 or 3 of these reels every single day, you can promote your own products or your clients' brands at a scale that's impossible to match manually. And if you've got the credits, the sky's the limit. Generate as many as you want. It all comes down to your budget. If you have a good client who's willing to pay properly for this kind of work, you can set this entire system up for them. Alright, with all that said, I really hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something valuable from it. If this was genuinely helpful to you, please hit that subscribe button and join the Upcraftz family. I'm aiming to publish at least 1 or 2 videos every week and a lot of exciting content is on the way. So stay tuned, stay in touch. If you like this video, smash that like button, share it with someone who needs to see this, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I personally read and reply to every single comment one by one. Alright, that's it for today. That's it for now. I'll see you very soon with another video. Till then, goodbye, stay well, stay healthy. Take care.